Hello everyone, I'm an engineer on Coinbase Developer Platform, and today I am here to talk about CDP Send Transaction API. This is a single API for signing and broadcasting transactions on EVM. This is available both via our APIs and SDKs. This is a low latency endpoint, so our current signing latency is sub 500 milliseconds. We also provide a high transaction throughput guarantees on this API, and I'll be taking you through an example with base mainnet to show the transaction throughput. Some of the other features that we provide, one is nonce management. So especially when you deal with EVM accounts that require high transaction throughput, setting the right nonce value in transactions is critical, and our backend, our APIs orchestrates this for you. The other is we provide the right gas estimation. So setting the right gas price in your transaction to ensure that it is sent on chain at a reasonable price is critical, and we provide that support. The last feature that I want to talk about is transaction replacement. So if you have stuck transactions in mempool, in order to replace it, you have to send a different transaction with the right gas parameter set, and our APIs handle this for you. Next, I'm going to take you through a demo of this on base mainnet. As part of demo, I'm going to run two scripts. One is a send transaction script using VM SDK. So this is going to generate a new local account and then send concurrent transactions and then track their resolution order. So I'm just going to use purely VM account here, and all it does is sending some ETH on base mainnet to a certain destination address, and it has some retry logic baked in. Now I have a similar script that uses CDP. So here I'm going to use an existing CDP account, and it is going to send a transaction, pretty much the same transaction. It sends some ETH to a certain destination address on base. Now let's see what happens first with VM. I'm going to start with one transaction on VM. So it looks like the first transaction was sent and it was successfully broadcast. And now if we go back to our base scan explorer, you can see that 7 seconds below one transaction had landed. Now I'm going to push this a little bit further and try to send 10 transactions with the VM SDK. Now what is happening here is that nonces are not being managed correctly. So each transaction takes like multiple retries before you set the right nonce value, and it lands on chain. So you can see here that for the first transaction, it actually had to take 2 attempts before it could land. For the 7th transaction, it actually took 4 attempts to land, and so on. And looks like the 0th transaction, which is the first transaction, is actually still being reattempted before it can land. So this is going to take a bit of time in order to land all the 10 transactions. So let's not wait for that. And instead, I'm going to switch to using the CDP SDK for the same example. Now for CDP SDK script, I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to try to run with 10 concurrent transactions first. So I already have the account funded, and okay, looks like all 10 transactions just landed. Now that we have sent 10 concurrent transactions successfully, I want to push the SDK a little bit more and see if it can land 70 transactions on base mainnet. So here we use the same address. It is sending all the transactions out, and then the script is going to wait until confirmation. And here we have, looks like all the transactions have been confirmed on chain, 70 successful transactions. And if you look at the block number, you see that all the transactions landed on a single block on base mainnet. So here we had a comparison of two demos. The first one using an SDK without nonce management, and the second one using the CDP SDK send transaction API. And you see how easy it is to land transactions concurrently with very high throughput and low latency using CDP APIs and SDKs. Thank you.